It's time to ride the booty train. And can we have a moment of silence for our dear friend Francesca too? Thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I am Matt Sassuti, along with Rob Povia, Brian Darkwing Daly, over there producing as well as hosting along with us. This is the Hockey Happy Hour, and like we always are, we're brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center. They are located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Gentlemen, what is going on this nice, comfortable Tuesday afternoon? It's chilly in the studio, but it's actually very comfortable outside, believe it or not.
Yeah, nice balmy fall day. And I think the fire's in the air still from Saturday night, the first matchup of the Keystone rivalry between one Schittsburg Penguins. I'm a little hot against Penguins. You know, they took that 5-4 win. Really pissed on what could have been a great 5 games and 7-day stretch for the Flyers. Still great to come back in that game. Screw you, Mikey Kleinkoff. Once partners on FDN, now foes.
Yes. Once friends, bitter enemies.
Isn't that how it works in rivalries like that?
Of course it is. And especially when it's that geographically close. You're going to run into Penguins fans here. And, hey, at least they're not Devils fans. Could be worse. They're not frauds. But anyway.
True story.
At least. So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have so much to talk about. Obviously, the Flyers and their first matchup against the Schittsburg Penguins, as we were discussing before, with Mr. Hornblower himself, Sidney Crosby, coming to town. And, hopefully it wasn't the greatest night to be a Flyers fan, unfortunately. But, hey, it was a hard-fought battle. But we'll talk about that in a minute. First thing we're going to talk about is starting all the way back to the last Tuesday. Why? Because, well, that was where we left off when we were reviewing Flyers games. And the Sabres were coming to town for the very first time. And let's just say things didn't get off to the best start in the world. The Flyers wound up going down 3-0 in the second period. Matt Moulson getting 2 of the goals to go along with it. Really was not a pleasant situation for Philadelphia going into that third period. But shockingly enough, within that 20 minutes, within one 20-minute period, the Flyers not only managed to get within one with Travis Konecny, by the way, congratulations TK, scoring his very first ever NHL goal, but then in 2 power plays and in less than 2 minutes, the Flyers tied the game. And not only did they tie the game, getting that 1 point that they want, they managed to get the extra. And of all things, a shootout. They managed to beat the Sabres in a shootout. You couldn't have scripted that any better. That was one of the best comeback kid victories I've seen in Philadelphia in a long time.
Matty, what was more surprising to you? Them coming back after going down 3-0 in a game that you really need to win in order to be playoff eligible against the Buffalo Sabres team minus Jack Eichel, or the fact that they won in a shootout? What's more surprising?
The fact that they won in a shootout. That's always the biggest surprise.
Correct answer. But yeah, big shout out to TK with his first goal in the NHL. And what was surprising is that you saw last week that after that goal, Hacksaw wants to mess with the lines a little bit. And I get it, he's creative, he's good with that, right? And he put up Konecny on the top line with Giroux, which was something that I was anticipating, at least on the power play, if not in even strength, when this kid was finally ready to go. But after seeing him play, I thought of him more as a scorer based on his junior stats. This guy's more of a playmaker, so putting Giroux and Konecny on the same line, 2 playmakers, doesn't really make a lot of sense. You got to really spread out the playmakers with snipers. That's why Konecny with Voracek is a match made in heaven with Couturier manning the middle. I love that line. Hacksaw, I love you juggling the lines, but don't touch that fucking line again. All right, because that line needs to be the Jack Daniels line. I'm promoting it like a la Trump. I'm getting the word out that I'm gonna make hockey great again with Jack Daniels bourbon whiskey.
All right.
I know I'm making jokes here, but seriously, That line has been one of the hottest in hockey. They need to stay together. I'm really liking the chemistry. It's making Voracek's game stand on its head.
I just thought of something. Since we got Couturier on that line, can we call it the Jack and Coates line?
Ah! No.
No.
I just busted balls. I just busted balls.
No,
Anyone's good.
Of course.
Anyone's good.
Scumbag. Anyway.
Duh, you shut that shit down real quick.
You know what, Rob? You know what? You just made the list! Anyway.
Good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's how I feel every time I make the list. Ooh. Yeah, I made the list.
That's pretty much how everyone reacts when Jericho puts somebody on the list. Anyway.
Kind of like, oh, what's going to happen now? Nothing?
Because nothing does happen. Anyway, so the Flyers coming back in a big win against Buffalo. A wonderful victory in the shootout. I was jumping. It was great, man. It was like a playoff game, man. That was how intense that match got. And also, by the way, Zach Bogosian, he's a scumbag. Anyway,
Nice.
yes, that's based completely on biasness.
Well, I mean,
but
I'm
anyway.
I'm going to be completely honest with you guys here. I don't think the Flyers should have won that game.
To be honest with you, the way the team plays in Buffalo, no. That's a complete fail on Buffalo's part. Buffalo should have snuffed out the Flyers.
No, they absolutely should have, but Flyers got lucky on 3 power play goals,
Yes,
2
they
of
did.
which probably, in my
Questionable
opinion,
calls.
very questionable
Yeah,
calls.
I remember that now. Yeah.
But still, though, Buffalo started making some errors in judgment. They
No, I
really
agree.
started playing very, very sloppy there at the very tail end of the third. And you know what? That's the sign of another team that's in transition in their own right. Started to play sloppy there, thought they had the Flyers. They thought they had them by the ass. And then they realized, we just got scored on twice, and now we got to try and get some momentum going into 3-on-3 OT. I think Buffalo that's why they were constantly playing back to their goalie. The reason why is they desperately wanted to go to the shootout. I don't blame them because the Flyers' history with the shootout is terrible. But even that, same thing happened with the Rangers in 2010. When we qualified, they tried to go to the shootout on purpose. You don't ever want to do that against Philly. It's only when it's by accident that when we go to the shootout, we lose. It's when you try to do it on purpose, then we shove it up your ass. That's great.
True story. I mean, really what was the questionable call was the Dmitry Kulikov charging. He never left his skates. I don't think that was charging. I wasn't arguing the call. I love it. It was in the Flyers' favor. But on a legitimate NHL analysis, that wasn't really a charge. The Sam Hart sticking call could have went either way. I see them giving it to them, but really that is what gave the Flyers that game. But they had to take advantage of the power play, which is something that they haven't always done so far this season. It's one of the options we have on our poll, which you can vote right now on Facebook and Twitter. What areas do the Flyers, really need to build upon? Is it offense, defense, goaltending, or special teams? In my opinion, it's got to be the special teams, don't you think, fellas?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the special teams have been the biggest problem for the Flyers this entire season right now. But not only that, the other issue that has been really bugging me lately, and I will say this, though. I'm not saying ship him out, but one person that's really been pushing my ire lately has been Michael Neuwirth. And the only reason why is because the man's been letting in goals that he shouldn't be letting in right now. He's kind of sieving a little bit right now. I don't like that. Neuwirth, we know you're good. We know you're capable of handling and keeping the ship down and holding the fort. But this inconsistency thing where, you have one good game and then you have a bad game. The defense may not play perfect all the time in front of you, but you never made that a problem last year. What's with this year? Maybe it's too early to get on his case, but I didn't like that. I don't like the way Neuwirth's been playing these last few weeks. He's just been kind of hot and cold lately. Mason's been the most consistent of the two.
I think, though, the finger's got to be pointing more towards the young defense.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
And I'll say why. I mean, don't get me wrong. There has been 1 or 2 soft goals, but not very many, so it's hard to point fingers directly at the goaltending. Can it be better? Yes. But the defense, and Ivan Provorov is a great example, tons of skill, trying a little too hard right now, overcommitting on plays, i.e. when he went down to block the shot, guy just skates around him or whatnot. You got to be and he'll learn this stuff.
Of course. Yeah, of course, yeah. Anything to say, Brian? No, nothing.
You guys are basically stealing all my points here.
Nice. I like it. But now we move on to the next game on the list, and that is against the Arizona Coyotes. And now I got a lot to say about this one because that third period was the strangest third period I think I've ever seen. And the officials By God, what is up with the calls? Some of them they got right, and then others of them they totally failed and blew completely. Now, I will say this right now. Call me a biased homer bastard if you want to.
Biased homer bastard.
But that last goal that Arizona scored is bullshit. That should have been goaltender interference.
Brad
I'm
Richards.
sorry. Yes, I get Provorov's stick did knock him down, but Mason really had no fair shot at the puck. He had no way of getting a hold of it. Mason's supposed to do at the end of the day. How can that be a legal goal? And at the same time, it's not the first goal. The Hansel goal, I get. The play was never blown dead. So that goal should technically stand. Now, the linesman should have blown the whistle the moment the fight broke out. That's on him, which, again, ref, great job. Put your whistle in your mouth and blow the damn thing when you see a fight. That goal will count because the play was never blown dead. The other goal I have a problem with, because how the hell is Mason supposed to make that save? You tell me.
I wouldn't necessarily call it goaltender interference, but I wouldn't have let that goal count.
It's just, whether it's been, what I would have done, and this would have been the fair thing to do, call penalty shot. Because technically, he was in the act of shooting. So you could have said penalty shot right there off the bat and said, you know what? That's a penalty shot. Because Mason wound up touching the puck with his paddle before it went into the net. So you could have easily have said, okay, that's a penalty shot. He gets a chance on Mason. He probably would have scored then, but I at least would have agreed with it. I would have said, okay, Provy made a mistake. He got his stick out there when he wasn't supposed to. It happens. That's a penalty shot. But the way that they allowed that goal is just ridiculous.
I mean,
Agreed.
the only reason why I'm saying it's not goaltender interference is because it was clearly incidental contact. There was clearly no intent. Richardson couldn't really control where he was going. Provorov was on top of him there, too. So, I mean, Mason couldn't really avoid it either.
No, he couldn't. Richards was literally in his kitchen. He had nowhere to go.
I hear what you're saying, Brian, but if you're a professional athlete in any sport, you need to be in control of your body and your actions at all times. You know what I mean? I don't
If
buy
you're
that.
getting drugged down, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I didn't see him getting drugged down there. I see him, being influenced, but not pulled down to where, he could have cut left when he went right, is my point.
I mean, he could have, but he didn't. He wanted to get the inside. Provorov took him down. And once he hit the ice, he couldn't control where he was going from there.
And it's not just that, though, but they clear as day blew some calls on the side of the Coyotes. There was a couple of calls that the Flyers got that really the Flyers should not have gotten by any stretch of the imagination. And again, it's all from that officiating crew. I'm like, what happened to that officiating crew? Did they just go blind in the third period? Did the Flyers screw their girlfriends before the game? I mean, seriously, what happened before the game that made these official crews just totally just bomb this game? They blew a lot of calls.
I'll tell you right now, they're just really good on their knees.
That makes perfect sense. But either way, though, it was a tough loss for the Flyers. A weird set of calls and a weird set of circumstances that ended up the Flyers losing that game by 1 point. But all in all, though, the Flyers really were playing catch-up to the Coyotes anyway. So for the Coyotes to win that game, I could understand. It's just the way they won. It really left a bad taste in my mouth because I feel like the refereeing crew really gave them that game when it was not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. Now moving on. Against the Penguins, this was a game that, of course, everybody was looking forward to, really hoping the Flyers would be able to pull off a big upset, get a win on the defending Cup champs, and get a win on Pittsburgh, which is always enjoyable. Unfortunately, the Penguins wound up getting the win, but it was a tough fight, and it was a hard-fought battle, so I can at least be proud of the Flyers for giving them a run for their money.
True. Yeah, I mean, you get up 2 goals real early, and you're like, nice against the Stanley Cup champs. I think they kind of were eating their own shit, patting themselves on the back a little bit, and that's what you fear with a young team that's off to a good start. Not a great start, but a good start. Then you get into a great start against the Penguins with these 2 goals. Well, the Penguins can turn it on and off like a light switch too, and they've been doing it for a lot longer than you, and that's what you saw with those 3 goals in in 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Right,
I
but
thought the official time was 3 goals in 55 seconds.
was it that quickly? No.
It's the report. That's what I saw.
Oh.
Either way,
Okay.
it has to be the 3 quickest goals in the NHL
Yeah.
history.
They
Like,
were-
seriously.
Maybe I was just trying to repress that memory. I don't know. But yeah, it was lightning quick, and as quick as they had a lead, now they're trailing. But here's where you see a Flyers team for the past couple of years come about and having that strong intestinal fortitude. I think that comes from players like Wayne Simmons that I don't care how much you're down, they have confidence that they can come back. They came back in that game. That was just a hell of a game. It was a playoff game. And you're talking in the opening weeks of the season, man, this Keystone rivalry is going to be, equal, if not more so, than what we've seen in the past.
Absolutely. And not only that, though, you find yourself in the middle. You were in Pittsburgh anyway. So that was another thing that you didn't necessarily have going for you in this game. You're going to Pittsburgh. You're on enemy turf. I do like that fact that they came out swinging. They got those 2 goals, not girls, 2 goals early. But you are right, Rob. That young mentality, this young team that we have, making a mistake, kind of believe in their own press a little bit, and boom, Penguins turn it on, being the defending Stanley Cup champs. They are that way for a reason. I mean, just ask the San Jose Sharks. They couldn't shut them down for anything. It is one of the toughest teams to go up against in the East. It is the best team in the East, and it kills me to say that. The only team that rivals them right now, in all honesty, is the Washington Capitals. That's the only team that really rivals them. If not them, then Tampa Bay. And that's really it. I mean, yeah, you could say Florida, but even then, Florida at times can be iffy. But when you talk about teams that really match them pound for pound, it's Tampa Bay or Washington, really, at the end of the day.
It was 55 seconds, 2 of the 3 coming from one Sidney Crosby, Maddie's favorite player.
Oh, yeah, totally. Residential horn blower. Anyway.
Once it was tied, though, right, going into the third period, a break goes the Pittsburgh way. Evgeny Malkin, that's his second goal of the game as well. I didn't feel defeated after that game, albeit they lost, but you can't really hold your head down low, and it was evident coming within, less than 24 hours later against an up-and-coming Carolina Hurricanes team.
And I'll correct myself. I was incorrect on that. They were not away for the Pittsburgh game. They were home. Sorry. I don't know why I thought they were away on that one.
Well, because when they're home, they're really away against
Yeah, that's
They've
what
been
it
so
is.
much in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
that's what it is. It's always flip-flop with the two. And then you're right. And speaking of that, before we go to break real fast, just want to give a quick tease. We'll talk about the Carolina game when we come back on the other side, and then we'll talk about what the positives and the negatives of what we've been seeing from this team for this week before we get into what we're going to see moving into that. But before we do that, just want to let everybody know about the Sports Outlet. They are for all your sporting needs, and they're located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030. You can email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we go into the Carolina game. We talk about what's up and coming for the Philadelphia Flyers as we move in to another week of the regular season and the first week of November. We are the Hockey Happy Hour, and we will be right back after this. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
There's a snake in my boot. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? Well, then go to BMW of Atlantic City. They're easy to get 2 minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway, located at 6037 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-568-9200. You can find them on the web at www.bmwatlanticcity.com. So, we left off with that battle against Pittsburgh, a tough fight that unfortunately did not end in the Flyers' favor, sadly.
But,
Yes.
and I'm going to talk to you two right now, you big Ratko Gudas haters. Did you see that keep that he had in the blue line and set up Giroux for that one-timer goal? Absolutely beautiful play. He absolutely lit it up over this weekend. He chips in a goal against the Hurricanes. This guy is not hot garbage. He's got good skills, and he was the best Flyers defenseman over the weekend.
I never said he was hot garbage. I said that his inconsistent, undisciplined play was a problem.
Stop it.
I
You
said
guys
he
were
was
ready
hot
to-
garbage.
He said he was hot garbage. I, on the other hand, said that second half last year, he had a good year at the second half.
And for the record, every player has a good game every once in a while.
2 good games in a row. And you know what? It's not going to stop there. He's a great defenseman to have on there. You know, he comes strong on the hits. You know what? Screw both you guys, first of all, right? Maddie, you're a flip-flopper. You should be running for president right now. Oh, he's hot garbage one week, he's not another, right? I love Ratko Gudas on this team. I don't know why I was wavering. You guys almost had me on the hate Ratko Gudas train. I jumped off.
There's plenty of room left, Rob. You're always welcome back.
No, I'm jumping on the Wayne train. But I did have to bring that to the show, though. I mean, you know, coming back from suspension, it's hard to, you know, go in. You know, it was a well-oiled machine that he was entering or whatnot. And I don't think you're going to see very much Nick Schultz as long as Ratko Gudas stays off the suspension list.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Ratko Gudas does have talent, and he can play the game. But he's too much of a liability issue, that's what I don't like about him. Like, I could say the same thing about Jared Boll in Anaheim. He's too much of a liability issue. He's too undisciplined. And I get it, in the heat of the moment, things happen. But at the same time, you got to be able to be held accountable for what you do.
Yeah, it's true. Truth. But I don't know. If you want to make an omelet, you got to break some fucking eggs. You know what I mean?
This isn't the Legion of Doom 90s era, for God's sake.
Oh, it should be! They're playing in the alumni game.
Against the Penguins, whom they always beat.
Kill
But anyway,
everybody. Kill everybody. Let the paramedics sort them out. Different sport, I know, but whatever.
Well, you do
Aaron
nuke them.
Max sort
You're like Duke Nukem. Let God sort them out. Anyway,
I came here to do two things: kick ass
and chew bubble gum.
and I'm all out of gum.
So
Missed that game.
with that being said, the Flyers walking away with a tough loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but they rebounded in a big way. It's a back-to-back matchup, which is never fun. You go from home, then you got to go to enemy territory, as much as it is, in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you face off with the Carolina Hurricanes, which aren't a bad team, quote-unquote, but they play like a bad team. And you get a big win against them. You win 4-3, tough fight. I mean, Carolina's always given Philly a hard time, but we always managed to come out on top, which is the best part about it. And we came out on top on this one. It's a big rebound victory against a tough loss against Pittsburgh. Even if you beat Pittsburgh, it's a trap because at the same time you face Carolina, a team you beat a week before, and you think to yourself, okay, we got this. It's only Carolina. Even if we're going down to their center, it doesn't matter. That could become a trap game real fast after you get a big win against Pittsburgh, but it's a big rebound win because you got a loss.
It's a trap. Yeah.
But I liked it. I love that rebound victory that they had.
Yeah, it was a great victory. I mean, it was really led by our captain, Claude Giroux, who, again, he's been 9-game point streak. You know, chips in now with his first and second goals of the season in consecutive games. Also, Brandon Manning. There's a reason why we put him on the thumbnail. He's been playing lights out, too. And I think what I was saying with Ratko Gudas and Brandon Manning, these guys are playing to keep their spots because not only do you have Provorov off, but, you know, you got Samuel Moran, Robert Hogg, Travis Sanheim chomping at the bit to get on the squad, and Manning doesn't want to say no. And hit that shorthanded goal game winner against the Hurricanes was just too sweet.
For life. Anyway,
right.
So with that being said, you have one thing that we've been seeing, though, from this Flyers team is, has there been a little bit of inconsistency as we close out the month of October? Yes, but you're going to get that from a young team that is in a transitional phase, and it is in a transitional phase. I love the way, though, that they have been competitive against every team. No game the Flyers have been completely out of. It's always been either through mistakes or it's been through the fault of BS refereeing, or it's been through the fault of just not being on the same level as the other team, but you're getting there.
Well,
And those are the three reasons that I would prefer to lose a game, whether it's through an error in judgment that makes you lose a close fight and that you can recover from and learn from, or someone screwing you over, or, more importantly, you're getting there. But you know that this team's just a little bit better than you are. The important thing is they didn't lose to any of the teams they weren't supposed to lose to. That was the important thing.
This is truth, and this is why we titled the show, Flyers Growing Pains. You knew you were going to have them, and they've still been playing a good brand of hockey. Imagine when you get past those growing pains, what this team can do. But I think it's more than just that, Maddie. The schedule makers have not been kind to the Philadelphia Flyers.
No.
I already mentioned on the on the previous side that they finished a 5-game set in 7 nights, but that also included 3 sets of back-to-back games in a 17-day span to open up the season. And they, thank God they're youthful because they need to keep energy in their legs.
And not only that, though, the back-to-backs have always been traveling ones. It's never been where they've been at home waiting for 2 different teams to come in on a back-to-back night. It's always been where they've had to go from L.A. to Arizona. Then one time they had to go from Montreal back to Philly. Then they had to go from Philly to Carolina. Not an easy travel by any stretch of the imagination. I think the closest that they were was from Montreal to Philadelphia. That's the closest they've ever been to any proximity of location.
And later in the show, when we preview the week to come, we have another set of back-to-backs. Wednesday night versus, visiting Detroit, and then Thursday in Brooklyn against the New York Islanders, 2 pretty strong, Eastern Conference teams. They're going to really need to, embrace the fatigue, rally, and defeat like you saw in Carolina.
So overall, though, since the month of October is officially done, by the way, happy belated Halloween to everybody out there. Hope you all had fun trick-or-treating. I got to ask, what grade do you give these guys? After seeing this first month in October, what's your grade?
Start with me?
Yeah, Rob.
To be fair, I'm gonna give them a B-.
Okay.
Right? I've liked when they turn that switch on, how they perform, they perform like an elite team in this league. But it boils down to playing 60 minutes like that. Now, is any team going to play 60 minutes fully, balls to the wall? No, that's not how the NHL works. But what you need to do is when you have that lull in the game, which every NHL team does, you got to play good fundamental hockey. According to Dave Hackstall, he said, we're just wanting to build good habits. And some of those good habits is while you're sitting back, play sound, fundamental defensive hockey. That will come.
Yep, and the old saying goes, old habits die hard. And it's the truth, because there are still some veterans on that defensive end that are still making some consistent errors, i.e. McDonald. Sorry, but I keep calling him out, but for God's sakes, the man he makes a lot of errors. He lets people in behind him way too often.
Right.
He really makes that consistent problem.
No, this is truth. But, I mean, you look at the Carolina game, and you had only one forward, Giroux, scoring, where you have three defensemen, Manning, Gudas, and Gostisbehere. It's great that we have lots of offensive defensemen, but don't forget about your assignments. You are a defenseman for a reason. I want to avoid getting too elated on this team, being too peaches and cream, as Tom says a lot of Flyers fans are. As good as you're playing, you always got to work to be better.
Absolutely. There is no room for an A right now after this month. I think if anyone's giving them an A, it's ridiculous. Right now, they are not in A territory. I will say I'm going to give them a solid B. I think not a B minus. I'm almost hovering towards that, and the only reason why is because the errors in judgment. But I do like how this team has fired back every time they've been faced with adversity. One thing that really gave me that keeps that solid B in there is the way they performed out in Los Angeles against the Kings, the way they performed in Arizona against the Coyotes. Even though they lost that game, they still managed to really be competitive in that fight, and they almost won it. And just the impressive play that they had against the Western Conference teams really keeps that solid B in there, because the West is really what you got to judge this team by, because the West has so many talented teams. The East, you see the teams still trying to build themselves back up. Carolina's still trying to build. Buffalo's still trying to build. Toronto's going to be a team that's still trying to build. Islanders, they're a team that's constantly going back and forth. They're never solid. Montreal, they got to prove something this year after totally bombing last year. The only dominant Eastern Conference team we ran into this month was Pittsburgh. That's the only one that's consistently dominant. So I like the way that they played. That's why I'm giving them a solid B. I will say this, though. I don't like the inconsistent play at times, but again, I understand why there's inconsistent play. I understand that these rookie mistakes, there's also some old habits that got to die, and they die hard. They never just go away overnight. So you just deal with that and you move forward. But it will get better over time. But I still give him a solid B for the month. What about you, Brian?
Call me harsh, but I'm going to give him a C.
You're going to give him a C? I can understand why. Your points?
Inconsistent play.
Inconsistency.
That's one of the bigger reasons. The second biggest reason I have is their special teams and their inconsistency there.
That is true.
It is true. They're either owning the offensive zone, scoring goals, or going 1 for 7 like you saw in person against your Anaheim Ducks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be a top-notch team, you got to be able to take advantage of the power play when you're on it. I mean, I get that you're not going to get power play goals every single time you get out there, but come on, you at least got to get one.
Right. And they've been a bit of, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, where they're either
hot
a minute
or
yeah, exactly.
Or not.
They're a minute 45 in the offensive zone, or they're continuously having
I mean,
to
even
retake the puck.
if you have that minute 45 in the zone and you're getting decent shots, but you're not scoring, that's still a plus to me.
Yeah.
Because you're putting the pressure on them, and you know that's going to come. Because once you tire out the penalty kill, it should be a cakewalk.
Right.
But that's the hard part, is getting set up, and that's one of the things that the Flyers aren't doing, is getting set up on the power play.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying on that one. They constantly get checked at the blue line, or they're constantly getting pinched on the far boards, and it becomes a frustrating habit because you see them try the dump and chase. They don't really have the bodies to match a lot of the bigger defensemen that you see out there in the NHL, particularly against Anaheim. We have some big D-men. Buffalo was the same way, a lot of big D-men on that team as well. But again, we're all kind of hovering around the same range: C plus, B minus, B.
We're all C plus.
He gave
It
him
was a
solid
solid
C. Yeah, my bad. But we're all still kind of hovering around that same range.
A C for we got a couple of haters.
A bleeding.
One hater.
It's a bleeding C. Anyway,
we got
so
one hater in studio. We got one
That's
hater.
awkward.
yeah.
We got one hater in studio. We got one hater on the Facebook chiming in. Our resident Devils fan, Michael Flaherty, tuning into the show. He voted in our poll for E. Not defense, not offense, not special teams, not goaltending. E, their manners, including their fans. And I go, Devils fans are far worse, buddy.
Yeah, Devils fans stab people, so why don't you take that one? None of us have been convicted of murder.
Well, there was that one
That we know
Rangers
of.
fan at Geno's, but
Well, okay, but he wasn't murdered. He was just beaten. There's a difference between the two. Murder is a step up from that. I'm sorry.
and murder.
I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it because he was an off-duty police officer. I'm not condoning that at all. But I am saying this, though, that a Devils fan murdered a Flyers fan in cold blood because he was a Flyers fan. I'm sorry, Devils fans, but you people have earned, I think, the worst fan base in the NHL just based on that alone. And I know one bad apple may not ruin the whole bunch, but guess what? You Devils fans are disgusting anyway, so that's just how it is.
Right. Well, let me ask you. You posed a question. Let me pose a question to you, Matt Sudi.
Yes.
Out of the positive of what we've seen for the Philadelphia Flyers, who's the Flyers' 1, 2, and 3rd star for the month of October?
The number one, well, I'll start my third. My third star, and call me crazy, but I'm going to actually throw in Sean Couturier. I really like the way he's rebounded from what we saw last year. He did score a couple goals, but I love his two-way play. He's really rebounded after a really rough season he had last year. We were very concerned about Sean being a bust, and we were throwing that word around a lot. He's really starting to show that, you know what? He's finding his game again. He's kind of finding that confidence again that he lost and he didn't have for 2 seasons, and now he's really starting to get it back. Is it because TK's with him? I don't know. But I can tell you this much, though. It is definitely a contributing factor to why I think his game is really getting better and why he himself, I think, is starting to get more confident again.
A resurgent Voracek, that whole line helps him out. But I think what really helped him out was having that strong competitive camp.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's why he deserves to be the third star of the month of October for the Flyers. Number 2, Matt Reed. Clear as day, it's got to be Matt Reed. And the only reason why he's not number 1 is because Matt Reed, we've been waiting for him to rebound. He rebounded. We were debating whether he was going to get traded this year, and he has just shown why he shouldn't be traded. Out of nowhere, he's just scoring goal after goal after goal. He's in on the rush. He's being a pain, which is glorious to see on the offensive zone. But the only reason he doesn't get the number 1 star, and the number 1 for me, is Travis Konechny. And the reason why is how many 19-year-olds come in and make an impact like he has. I mean, Gostisbehere did last year, but he wasn't 19. I mean, Travis Konechny comes in at 19 years old. How many assists does he already have? He's got his first goal to his name, and he's basically turned a line into a dominant force. And it's just 1 month. 1 month of play from this young man. And that's what he's already done for this team. I think he deserves number 1 just for that alone.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. He's kind of fallen off a little bit, as this man predicted on last show a little bit.
He has, but again, though, look at overall for the month, man. Overall for the month, he has been phenomenal.
His overall play has been, but as far as production goes, his production's fallen off.
Yeah,
The
but
first 5 games he has goals, but since then he hasn't had anything. He hasn't even had a point.
what, for Matt Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, I got that. But overall, though, you got to give him some credit, though.
Oh, no, I give him
for
credit.
a guy who really was looking like he was going to go bye-bye come the end of this year.
For his overall play, yeah, I give him the credit. I give him all the credit in the world, but he wouldn't be in my top 3.
Okay. So who would be your top 3?
Number 3 would probably be Brandon Manning for his overall play and his point production so
He's
far.
been phenomenal. Yep.
Jacob Voracek is
Jake
number
Voracek.
2.
Yep. He definitely deserves a star.
And Claude Giroux.
I don't
not
disagree.
Not even just for his offensive production, but just his leadership that he's showing with Konechny and Provorov. Just overall, like when I see him talking to one of those two.
Yeah, I got you. There's nothing wrong with that, and that definitely deserves a star because, I mean, he's being the captain. That's his job, and he's doing a really great job of it.
He had the one bad play with Provorov. Well, Provorov just screwed up big time, and then
In Chicago.
and then Giroux he came right in and gave him a pat on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry about it. Like, go get him the next shift."
Okay, then. So, Rob, who's your 3?
Number 3, I'm going to go with who's on our thumbnail, Brandon Manning.
Brandon Manning,
He's been playing great defensive hockey, taking the body, not getting enamored with the puck, keeping his assignment with the man that he's assigned to. Sorry, a little redundant there, but he's been playing good defensive hockey and now chipping in with a shorty goal, really, really keeping his spot on this defensive, in his defensive pairing. So I'll go with Manning, the third star. Second star, I'm going to go with Travis Konechny. I really like what this kid, he's not making too many rookie errors. We discussed it, Provorov making a few more than I would like, but both of them are going to develop, and you're going to have growing pains there. But Konechny is just such a great playmaker. He makes everyone around him all that much better. So, and congratulations, got your first NHL goal. And number 1, this is a tough call between Giroux and Couturier, but I'm going to go with Couturier, number 1. He's being that strong two-way forward, that Patrice Bergeron type player that we originally, got, drafted as part of the Voracek deal for Jeff Carter. And, I just hope it continues, man, because if Sean Couturier's level of play continues all season, this is a definite playoff team.
Oh, that line is going to be what makes us a playoff team, no doubt about it. That is, I think, great 3 stars, gentlemen. I do like that, and I think that was pretty solid. I think we pretty much got all the major players in the month of October taken care of. So now the real question is, who's going to rise up in November? Are we going to have a guy that we didn't talk about become a big star right now in November? Or will we still have the same consistent stars? We'll find out as time moves forward. And, of course, always have our honorable mentions, as always, guys like Steve Mason who keep holding down the fort, and obviously other guys who keep on contributing, Wayne Simmons, Braden Shen, Gostis Bear. These are the guys you can't forget either. They'll probably wind up in that list soon enough. All right, when we come back, we go around the league and we see what's been happening in the National Hockey League. But first, I want to talk to you guys about Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. Give them a call, 215-369-3300. Tax season is almost here, so be ready, be prepared. Get Gibson Mayer to take care of all of your tax needs. When we come back, it is Around the League time here on the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And we are brought to you by Liberty Event Rentals, located at 2154 East Cambria Street in Philadelphia, PA. Give them a call, 267-314-7368. They got tables, chairs, tents, linens, anything for your event needs. You can find them on the web at www.libertyeventrentals.com. So, gentlemen, we have gone through the Flyers weekend review. We've given our 3 stars, but now it's time to steer away from the Flyers for just a quick second. I know it's hard for the Philly fans to pull themselves away from the orange and black, but we must. And it's time to go around the league. And we'll start off by saying to Rob, what have we got going on in the National Hockey League?
Hey, thank you very much. And, first of all, reading off Mike Flaherty's comments about who's worse, Flyers fans or Devils fans, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, buddy. I was definitely far worse. Last time we were chatting during our fantasy hockey draft, Brian, I told him to go F himself. And apparently he's still holding on to that. So I did just formally apologize to him on Messenger, but I'll say it on air. Mike, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry your pussy's dripping, okay? But maybe it's because you like shitty teams like the Devils. Was that really an apology?
No, not really.
No.
But you know what? It fits the colors of their jerseys, though. That red. Yeah.
Anything that
It's
bleeds,
that period blood team. That's what it is.
anything that bleeds for
Oh
7
my
days and
gentle
doesn't
Jesus.
die, you got to be scared. No. No. Flaherty's a good dude, man. He's contributed to fantasy dominance now before, and I guess I was out of line, but that's what I do when I talk fantasy sports. I get heated, man. I get heated when I talk hockey too. I guess Phillies fans, I guess I'm the scumbag. I won't associate it. I'm the scumbag here, all right? Anyway, that being said, we talked about the 3 stars for the month of October for the Flyers. Well, just released today was the 3 stars of the NHL, and this is going to be tough for me. Wow, because this is a hard name to pronounce, but I'll give it a shot. Number 3rd star from the Florida Panthers, Jonathan Marchessault. Marchessault.
I think you were pretty close on that.
Oh, really?
I think you were.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's actually March Assault. Yep.
Yay! It's like a Flyers March Assault on a particular Rangers fan now. So number 3rd star, young buck Jonathan Marchessault gets 3rd star. Number 2 star for the month of October, Shea Weber from Montreal, really proving that was a pretty even deal for PK Subban, because PK Subban's been pretty good for the Predators, much to my chagrin. But
Yeah, I think they're still dead even in points.
yeah, definitely that's a win-win deal right there. And who's really been winning has been the Edmonton Oilers. My pick for surprise team. I don't want to hear it, Brian. Go back on the record. It was my pick, Edmonton.
Pretty sure he said Columbus Blue Jackets, but okay.
Go back on the record, man. I'm gonna let this past shows do the talking. Which you can do right now. You can go back on our YouTube page and check out all of our shows.
Now that's a shameless plug. Bang, bang.
Anyway, number 1 star for the month of October. No surprise, Connor McDavid leading the universe.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep.
And they say Cam Newton Superman? Connor McDavid Superman.
Well, I think Cam Newton found his kryptonite, and that was the NFL. But anyway.
Well, Ben Bishop found some kryptonite. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was actually after the games Tuesday night when we last broadcasted, October 25th. Lightning goalie Ben Bishop loses 2 front teeth after taking a shot to the mask.
I saw that.
Stays in the game. That's why you gotta love hockey.
Oh yeah, dude, I saw the play. It was a hard shot. It didn't even look like it hit him in the face,
Then it did.
but it did. It hit him right
Yeah.
square in the I think it was like the chin guard.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
kind of forced the mask down and knocked his teeth out.
In the face.
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Hey,
What's that song? Nothing but my 2 front teeth.
All I want for Christmas is my 2 front.
hey. Well, guess what though? Congratulations. Welcome to the NHL. Now you got a hockey smile. Happy.
You don't see that often from a goalie either.
Yeah,
No. I haven't. No, there aren't many goalies who've ever had hockey smiles. I don't even ones who didn't wear masks back in the day. They still got all their teeth. I don't know how that's possible.
Andrew Cogliano actually had his 2 front teeth knocked out one game I was watching. He was right back there the next shift.
Nice.
He didn't even miss it.
You gotta love it. You gotta love the guys who have no teeth. You gotta love Sean Couturier's got no teeth.
Yep.
You know, Bobby Clark had no teeth back in the
Oh,
day.
the hockey
you
smile,
you
yeah,
know, you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
love the hockey smile, man.
Definitely. What was great was I forget whether it was his teammate or the referee picked up the teeth off the ice and just handed it to him like
I think it was a trainer.
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Who was there was somebody in the box who actually I forget his name. He pulled out his tooth and then he gave it to the fan who was sitting
Yeah.
next to him. He was
I
like,
know,
"Hey, you want my
that's so
gross.
tooth?" Yeah, that was so
Ew.
cool. I was like, "That is awesome." That only in hockey would tooth be considered a souvenir.
Oh, that's going
man,
in the
that is
trophy case.
gross.
That's going huge in the trophy
I would have
case.
made a necklace out of that tooth. That's awesome, man. I would have cleaned it though. Don't worry, I would
No,
have cleaned
dude, that's
it.
disgusting.
That's not disgusting if you clean it.
There's
You just
a
turn it into a
line
necklace
drawn.
then.
There's got to be a line drawn.
There's no line drawn. It's
Come on.
hockey. There's no line drawn.
I don't want
If your
anybody
arm's
else's-
twisted the other way, you just shake it off and you go back out to the ice.
Settle down,
but I'm
kids.
not going
Settle
to be
down,
a
kids.
fan that's going to want somebody's tooth. That's gross.
Oh, anyway. All right.
We'll agree to disagree.
Here's some suspension news other than Ratko Gudas. Bruins forward David Pastrnak suspended 2 games for an illegal check to the head of Rangers Dan Girardi. I saw this hit live, and it was pretty vicious. I'm surprised he only got 2 games.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he got 2 games because he's not really a
Habitual, yeah.
Yeah, he's not much of a hitter. But it was well deserved. He got high. His shoulder hit his jaw. He left the ice.
You got to be careful of that. Even when the refs, even if it's not technically a really damaging hit, it's still going to get called.
It's like
It's always going to get called.
Watch the hit. Like he keeps his elbows tucked, but he got high, and that was the problem. And he left the ice.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Once your skates leave, you're going to the box. You may even get a major.
Pretty much.
It's as simple as that.
Because I got high. Because I got high. Oh, man. Bit of a somber story, but, triumph through tragedy here. You were mentioning it before during the break, Maddie. Ottawa Senators goalie Craig Anderson gets a shutout in his return from absence to be with his wife, who was recently diagnosed with cancer. It was good to see him getting that bagel right there.
Absolutely. I always liked Craig Anderson. Even, he was always one of my favorite goalies, and mostly because he used to have that alien on the back of his helmet.
Yeah.
That was really cool back in the day. But it's a shame though that his wife wound up with cancer though. So thoughts and prayers out to you. Congratulations on getting that shutout.
Was that Marvin the Martian he had with the Senators helmet? Was that what it was?
I don't know if it was Marvin. I think it was like one of those aliens that you'd see like in the store, like the common looking like cartoon alien ones. Yeah, he had that on the back plate of his helmet. That was so cool back in the day.
I know what helmet you're talking about. I can't think of who
Yeah.
it
I
was.
think that was a
But
different
somebody had
goaltender.
Marvin the
But I
Martian.
know who you're talking about though. Yeah, there was a Marvin the Martian helmet out there, and also though Craig Anderson used to shut us out too. Anyway,
Can I just say, Jonathan Gibson's helmet, which is a tribute to the great Guy Bear, is pretty fly.
Yeah,
it is cool.
pretty fly.
It is
I
cool.
like it.
Anyone seen Mike Smith's new helmet for the Coyotes? It's got the old Coyotes
Yeah.
logo and everything. That is really cool looking too.
I saw it
I like that
when
one.
they played him when the Flyers
Yeah,
played him.
that's a really cool looking.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to feed right over into Brian's wheelhouse here. Speaking of the Anaheim Ducks, they recently, as of last Thursday, signed holdout defenseman Hampus Lindholm to a 6-year contract, which is good through the 21-22 season. Big signing, getting him in camp or getting him with the squad. Even bigger that they're able to get it done without having to trade Cam Fowler.
Well, it's not over yet.
Yeah,
They might still have to trade him because Simone Dupre is on IR LTIR. So that'll loosen up a little bit of money, and they had to send a couple guys down to loosen up a little bit of money. But once some of these guys start coming back, they're going to have to make a move.
Well, do you think that they will trade somebody else other than Hampus?
It's possible that he's one of them. Fowler's still an option.
I would say
But the way that Fowler's playing right now, you don't want to get rid of him.
I got it. It's just it's a tough one because you're either trading youth or you're trading hardworking player that's currently doing
Who's
something right
still
now.
youth.
He is still
Fowler's
young.
only
I'm not saying.
23.
I know he's not that old, but I'm just saying it's just like it's always tricky when you get around that part because you got two young guys, but you got one who's contributing now, but one who's going to be a big time player. It's very very hard.
It's going to be tough to trade a guy like Clayton Stoner.
Yeah,
He's
it
making
is.
$4 million a year. I mean, you'd free up the space, but who's going to want him? And then
Yeah. Well,
Dupre, he signed to a pretty decent contract. You get rid of him too, but who's going to want him? He's always hurt.
maybe you could sign Dupre's contract away to Arizona since they like buying up long-term IR players.
They might. Well,
They like taking old contracts, and they took Datsuk's contract and Proctor's contract. So maybe they'll
here's
take
the difference
Dupre's.
with Dupre. Dupre can actually come back and play.
That is true. That is the difference. Datsuk left the NHL, and Pronger, we all know he's never playing again.
And he does have a good pedigree. I mean, I remember watching him playing for the Penguins,
does.
young up and coming player or whatnot. Sometimes it takes some players adjust immediately, others need a longer time to acclimate.
But it's not a problem of performance on the ice because Dupre is really good, and I enjoy watching him play. But the problem is him staying healthy.
Yeah.
When he's on the ice, he's good. It's just the amount of time that he spends off it.
Yeah, not all. Yeah, that's definitely one thing. But one thing that I do want to bring up though is that the Ducks being with their old coach, technically, their old coach that won them the Stanley Cup. Do you think that this it's having a little bit of a tough adjustment right now because the Ducks have been kind of going through a little bit of a waney start, which is unusual for them. I mean they've lost to a couple teams they have no business losing to. I gotta ask, do you think it's really a system adjustment, or do you think the team itself is just going through a bit of a funk at this time period?
Well, it's the beginning of the season. They always go through a funk.
I got you.
You can't get the offense going usually, but you come out and you face a team like Nashville and you put up 6 goals, and then you come out and you play Columbus and you get shut out.
Yeah, that's the one thing I looked at. I was like, what? They lost to Columbus 4-0?
And not having Getzlaf right now is hurting them too. So
Yeah.
that's the heart and soul of the team. They got to figure out a way to get some consistent offense going.
Well, maybe this will be a blessing in disguise. They are facing the Los Angeles Kings, who are going through their own problems. So maybe you guys get a good win against LA, a rival, and then you got to go to Anaheim, and then Pittsburgh comes to town, and that's not going to be an easy matchup though. And then you got to face Arizona on Friday.
No, we already lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so it's crazy with the schedule that you guys got. You guys got a bit of a rough schedule coming up with Arizona and Pittsburgh. That LA game might be the one game. Be like, okay, let's get that big win right now. Let's get a win on Los Angeles.
You're heading back out on the road, right? You're going back out on the road. You're going to the Staples Center. I mean, I could really go either way.
It could.
Anaheim's certain in their own ways, and LA's certain in their own ways, but
I think LA still I think their injuries are a little bit more crippling. When you look at what has been happening with them.
Jonathan Quick, who's probably the worst of the two teams as far as injuries go. Everyone else is pretty much healthy in LA.
I got it.
Getzlaf will probably be back. You need to get Raquel cleared by doctors. You got to get him back in the lineup. You got to get Hampus Lindholm back in the lineup, who will hopefully be playing tonight.
Well, maybe he'll be that energy that kind of bursts into that
Well,
fresh,
it's definitely
that breath of fresh air.
He'll bring more of a defensive steadiness to the team and actually give Fowler somebody good to play with.
Yeah, I got you on that one. But hey, you know what? Big matchup here for Anaheim tonight at 7:30 on Pacific time, which is not 10:30 our time, against LA out in the Staples Center. If for any Ducks fans out there besides Brian, who are most likely going to be watching that.
I will definitely be watching that. It's going to be a rough morning the next morning, but I will definitely be watching that game.
To watch the Kings battle the Anaheim Ducks, a rivalry matchup. So, but overall, though, Hampus Lindholm coming to the team.
Good thing.
It is a good thing, though, overall, though, for Anaheim. We've been talking about how they desperately been needing to sign him back. You've been bringing that up a ton, that Lindholm needed to be signed. So, mission accomplished in that regard.
Now, just the aftermath now is, you know,
Yeah.
we're basically over the salary cap. We were in a very bad situation where if we weren't cap ready by Friday, we would be forced to forfeit the game. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Phew. Talk about some stiff penalties. Nothing like being over the cap and having to forfeit a game. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but Anaheim's got to make some moves to relieve that cap space, and I got no problem with seeing some of these guys go. Take a late round draft pick for Clayton Stoner. You'll relieve $4 million a year.
We're getting a little laughter here in the studio with the stiff competition comments. Get your minds out of the gutters, people.
Well,
No,
you
I
know,
thought the same
hey,
thing.
hey, if it's
Probably did.
Hey, man, if it's stiff, you got to work it. You know, that's just how it is. You know.
Oh, my gentle Jesus. Is it time for a commercial yet? Not yet.
Nope. You wish. You're not that lucky. Anyway,
Welcome to the program, Woody Johnson.
you got a friend in me. Anyway, so with that being said, with that ridiculousness out of the way, we now jump back into the situation with the Flyers. We talked about the Ducks and what they got coming up here. Flyers got a big matchup coming up on Wednesday at 8 o'clock against the Detroit Red Wings, a Wednesday night rivalry matchup, which is now starting to become a rivalry. I loved it back when Detroit first joined the Eastern Conference and said, oh, well, the Flyers and the Red Wings are a rival. Since when? Since 97, the one time we faced them in the playoffs, the one time, yeah, it was the Stanley Cup Finals and we got swept, but really, that's the one reason that makes us rivals? Like, are you kidding me?
It could be more or less from, I mean, definitely, I know I hold on some hatred from 97.
I don't
still.
blame you, yeah, I don't blame you, yeah.
But I think it's less about the hockey teams, but more about the cities pitted against
I
each other.
gotcha, yeah.
In all sports, Philadelphia, Detroit, you go back to, the heyday, the Pistons and the Sixers, Lions and Eagles. Eagles are still clamoring over that Snowfest that was at the was that the Link or the Vet?
That was at the Link.
That was at the Link, right? So I get it, and you got to try to build that up because Detroit had so many good rivalries when they were in the Western Conference. You want to build up some more, so where they're not putting Red Wings Blackhawks on Wednesday night rivalry, which is still a rivalry based on their locale, but now they're in opposite conferences, so it kind of takes away from that.
And again, this is another time I'm gonna give the NHL a little bit of a hard time here. Why did you not just move Nashville to the Eastern Conference and put Detroit still in the West? That's where all their rivals are. But I do like it though, where we started to see it last year. Detroit and Philly were starting to kind of develop that rivalry.
I've been saying that since Nashville came into the league. Why are they not in the Eastern Conference?
It doesn't make any sense. It's so strange, right? Nashville is closer to all the Eastern Conference teams than the Western Conference teams. The closest team they were was Detroit and Chicago.
Well, maybe they'll correct it when Las Vegas comes in the league. Maybe they can realign a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's
because
right.
It is only going to be one team coming in.
Well, they're not going to realign because the Western Conference is short two teams.
Yeah, they're short two
so they're
teams.
automatically go right.
Now, there is
right.
debate, though, that they might shift a team back to the West, maybe Detroit, and put a team in the East where they might bring back Quebec. There's that rumor going around. But
or Nashville. Put Nashville,
or-
move Detroit back.
Yeah, always a possibility.
You could. But keep in mind, right now it's 16-14 in the Eastern Conference's favor.
Right. Understood.
Apparently, we don't want Quebec City back in the NHL.
Right.
Apparently. I know Montreal doesn't want them back, that's for sure.
I would love to have Quebec back.
Oh, could you imagine, though, the Nordiques and the Montreal Canadian rivalry once again? That'd be a bloodbath every night because those two do not like each other at all. I don't even think they like each other in real life.
I think they might avoid that at this point, though, because they have to go through a lot of trouble just to get Winnipeg.
Yeah, they did. Well, Gary Bettman tried to block it anyway. Gary Bettman tried to block Atlanta from losing a hockey team. Like, what was so thrilling about Atlanta? Atlanta can't even sell out Turner Field. Are you kidding me right now? You want to keep a hockey team in Atlanta? It failed twice.
Now they really
It wasn't
can't.
the move.
Turner being destructive.
It wasn't the move that they were giving a hard. It was getting the naming rights to the team because they wanted to call them the Jets.
Of course.
And, of course, if you move a team back to Quebec, you're going to want them to be the Nordiques again.
Yeah, you can't have another team. You probably can't get the logo, which is kind of sad. You can't get the logo probably from the Colorado Avalanche unless you pay a ton of money. But
Did either of you guys watch a Heritage Classic last week?
Actually, I actually was working, so I missed it. Believe it or not.
The Jets did have the actual old.
Oh, they did have the old
logo.
logos on. Oh, okay, so they do own the rights to that. So the city must have owned it then.
I'm not sure, but
Oh, well, nice. That's good to know. At least the Coyotes don't own it anymore.
Call them the
'cause-
Quebec grab asses after Drew.
Hey,
Asinine comment number 7 from Rockphobia.
one cop's ass gets grabbed by Drew, and all of a sudden he's a groper. All of a sudden, good
Grab
God
ass.
Almighty! Like
Grab ass.
seriously, like seriously.
Anyway, getting the wheels back onto the train tracks here. What I'm excited about in this game is we might see the return of Scott Lawton.
Ooh.
Both him and Delzato started skating about roughly 8 days ago, I believe October 23rd. And Lawton's had a far less of an injury, so his return's a little bit more imminent. And he did say that I lost my place in this article that I was getting this information from. Well, anyway, I'm just going to go off my memory. He said at that time he was about 7-8 days away. So it could return. Will he have a roster spot? And probably Lubinov. I think you could put him in that slot.
Lubinov will probably be the odd man out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine that. I mean, Lubimov's kind of one of those guys we're probably going to see. He's going to be the healthy scratch of the year, most likely,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Solid character guy. I like his play so far, but yeah, it'll be great to see Scotty Lawton back in this high potent offense.
I want to see it because, we've been waiting for Lawton to have a really good year. He can be a solid, good secondary player, but the problem is that he's been so snake-bitten for these last 2 seasons. I felt bad for Lawton. He was the only guy who I think really got the worst end of the shaft for the last 2 years from the Flyers, mostly because Berube's system sucked. But anyway, that was that. So...
But I got the point. He was actually projected, the Lawton that is, to return in the Pittsburgh game. So now the Pittsburgh game, the Hurricanes game went by. You would expect that this will be the game that you'll see Scotty Lawton return in. Delzato, he didn't want to jinx anything, but he says it's still a day-to-day situation. He would like to think that he's working on the same timetable as Lawton, but he was projected to miss 5 weeks dating back from October 6th. When he was hurt against the New York Rangers in a preseason game.
Yeah, we're not even at 4 weeks yet for
Right.
Delzato, so he's getting. I know he's getting close.
Well, you can be patient because this team's so deep in defense. So you can be patient and really make sure that he's healthy. And you really got to, he's a little bit of Mr. Glass syndrome over there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. If only he could stay healthy, just a little bit. But anyway.
You're going to need these guys because, Detroit Red Wings, high-powered offense, led by Dylan Larkin, Henrik Zetterberg. There's going to be a true test here on a nationally televised game.
I do get to hear my favorite hockey name currently right now, Antonisiu.
Yes.
I do get to hear that. That's awesome. I think he's going to replace Jeff Bokoboom. I think it might just replace Bokoboom. Maybe.
And last
maybe.
time I checked, I don't know if I got snapped yet. Detroit is on a 6-game winning streak.
Right. I'll check that out.
It might have gotten snapped, I think.
Don't
Yeah.
they also have no, that's the Islanders, Clutterbuck, right?
Yeah, Clutterbuck's Cal Clutterbuck. I remember when he was in a Wild. That was fun back when he was part of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah,
Back in the day.
traded him for Nino Niederreiter.
Which was actually a really good trade because
For
Nino
both teams involved.
Niederreiter has been so helpful for Minnesota, really building their offense up. But anyway, when we come back, it'll be time to go back into the Flyers talk. We'll be previewing a little bit more of the Detroit game and going through what is coming up for Philadelphia, who they'll be facing this week and next week a little bit. Some big matchups coming your way here in Philadelphia on the road and here in Broad and Patterson. It'll be a little bit of fun for Philadelphia in the future. Maybe not. We'll see. When we come back, it'll be time to go back into the Flyers' upcoming schedule, but first I want to talk to you guys about the BMW of Atlantic City. Have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? Well, then go to BMW of Atlantic City. They're easy to get to. They're minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway at 6037 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-568-9200, and you can find them online at www.bmwofatlanticcity.com.
You almost fumbled that one.
Almost. But I'm not the Eagles. Anyway, so
Oh, shots fired!
when we come back, more Flyers talk after this on the Hockey Happy Hour.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Don't call it a comeback. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com.
It's not his fault. He does too many shows with me. I'm the one that, is machine man trying to get through things and stumbled over my words. Let me just ask you, before we continue on with the show, you're putting two fingers together. You guys talking about docking over there? What are we talking about over there? I missed that.
Well, apparently a lot of references were made off mic about it, so I figured, you know what, might as well appease the audience. Apparently that's what they want, so I don't know why, but they do. Anyway.
That's just silly.
Yeah, that's just silly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. Yes, this is still the Hockey Happy Hour. You have not gone insane. Maybe not yet. But anyway, we were talking about Detroit versus Philadelphia matchup that will be coming up on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. The Flyers will be battling the Red Wings, hopefully to get a win in Philadelphia against the Red Wings. I just got to ask you, gentlemen, what do you see happening in this game? You see this game being a win or a loss for Philly?
This is a tough one to dissect because they got a lot of offensive firepower. The Flyers so far has risen to the occasion and showed a pretty good offense themselves. So I definitely see this as being a pretty high-scoring game. Peter Mrazek may have something to say about that. A good, young, upstanding goaltender in this league. All that being said, I'm gonna go with Flyers win this game 4-3 in regulation.
All right then, Brian.
This is tough. It's like Rap said. This is a tough matchup. This Detroit team is young. They're quick. They definitely know how to put the puck in the net. I'll tell you what. Just coming off a 6-game win streak, which wound up gotten snapped over the weekend, losing the last 2. But I don't know. To me, it all depends on who their starting goalie is. If it's Peter Mrazek, Flyers are gonna have a tough time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is.
Thomas Vanek has like a newfound offense apparently now that he's in Detroit, leading the team in goals. Gustav Nyquist doing his usual offensive thing. Darren Helm, Mike Green is producing offensively now. I could see the Flyers losing this one. I think it could be a high-scoring affair, maybe 5-4.
You know, call me crazy, but I actually agree with you, Brian. I think this is going to be a tough fight, but I actually see the Flyers losing this game because I think Detroit's going to be a bit of a buzzsaw when it comes to goals. Not that the Flyers can't match them offensively, but I think our defense has been making a lot of errors in judgment at times, and I think we could start seeing a couple of mistakes being made that Detroit will take full advantage of, and I think we lose this game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a high scoring. I'll say it's a 4-2 loss in regulation.
Let me ask you gentlemen something. Can you tell me the team that leads the NHL in goals scored for?
I feel like the Flyers is the answer to this question.
The Philadelphia Flyers with 36. I think they'll have no problem scoring on Detroit. I mean, it's going to be a true test, though. It's going to be a true test. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm actually surprised to see that. I know they've scored a fair amount of goals. But to be leading, I mean, the closest team is the Rangers at 35, which that too is a bit of a surprise.
That is, considering the fact the Rangers have kind of been slipping a little bit over this last couple of weeks. But
Well, I mean, Detroit's right there with them as far as being able to score. Like, they're getting goals from everybody. Franz Nielsen's had a couple really nice ones this year.
They are, but as a team, only 28. You know what I mean? It's all relative. I mean, they played 10 games. Flyers have played 10 games, so it's actually around the same pace.
Well, what it really comes down to is whether the Flyers defense plays its A game or if it makes a lot of mistakes. Right. That's what it really comes down to, because you could score 10 goals, but if you make enough mistakes and they score 11, you still lose. Right. It doesn't matter. And if it's 10 and 11, then that's really crazy in a hockey game. But anyway.
And the Rangers are actually 6-3 with 12 points on the season. They're definitely far better than I thought I gave them credit for coming into the season.
Yeah, it's strange. I actually saw them play Boston. They absolutely shredded Boston in New York. I don't know what. Well, Boston's kind of on their downturn anyway.
Yeah, Boston's
but
really
still.
only got the one line anymore with Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron.
Still trying to connect to that 2011 Cup, which really they should not have won.
They should trade Bergeron to Anaheim. Well,
you would like that, wouldn't you?
I would take you with open arms.
You would like
you just
that,
want everybody. You want Bergeron, you want Provorov. You try to create an all-star team over there.
Hey, listen, you can keep Provorov. We got Lindholm back under contract without trading anybody.
You're already at risk of going over the salary cap. Do you really want to try and test those waters even more? Like, seriously?
I never said there had to be a salary cap involved. I just said I wanted Patrice Bergeron.
Oh, so you're going to suspend the salary cap. You're going to play this with fantasy style. Okay, gotcha. So you want to do like you want to be like the old Flyers. You want to stack the deck, and you want to just get all the top talent in the NHL and hope you can win a Stanley Cup.
We probably won't, but
and develop none of your young talent and trade it all away, right?
We'll
take it. I'll take that. I'll take your young talent. I have no problem with that. I'll take Gibby.
No,
I'll take Lindholm. I got no problem with Lindholm. I'll take them all. I'll take all your farm system. You get to have all the other veterans and see what happens. We win. We win the cup then.
You know what? This is good for next week. No, here's an idea. Here's an idea. What I'll do is throughout the next week, I'll create a roster and a depth chart of players in the league.
Okay.
And here's what you can do.
Okay.
Go on the Anaheim roster, right?
All right.
And create a depth chart of the Flyers with the players that you would want from Anaheim.
Ooh, I like it. And then
we'll compare.
Nice.
We'll compare notes on Monday.
I swear to God, when you said to Matt, this is what you can do, I thought you were going to say, sit on a stick and twirl. I swear to God, I thought that's where you were going there.
Oh.
This show took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Enter comic relief.
So let's see if we can get this back on track.
Yes.
Let's attempt to.
Yes.
With that game against Detroit, we'll see who wins. We'll see who loses on that one. I have a tough loss. You have a loss. Rob has a win. It's actually strange. Usually I'm the one with the win. You were the guys with the losses.
Yeah,
But anyway,
little flip-flop.
little
there.
flip-flop on this week. But not only that, Flyers do have a couple of really tough games coming up as they go on the road for a short period for the rest of the week. They have to face the Islanders on Thursday. What is with this back-to-back shit, too, by the way, on the NHL? Back-to-back, you start in Philly, then you got to go to Brooklyn. Albeit, it's not the longest trip in the world, but still, you got to go from one day at home to one day away. And then they do the same bullshit next week. Toronto. Then you got to go back to Philly. Like, what is with this? Like, seriously.
You know, Anaheim's got the same situation, but, you know, we're basically driving 5 minutes up the road to get to L.A.
Yeah, you're like...
And then we're
yeah.
driving 5 minutes back to get ready for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so you're lucky. Anyway, not everybody has a 5-minute away distance from their opponents.
And we already put one of our East Coast trips to bed, so...
Yeah. It's great that, you know, you're 5 minutes away. You're basically a Pee-wee baseball field
Dude,
away.
we opened 5 arenas this year,
Yeah, you did. That's right.
including Anaheim.
Yep. Well, everybody. Needs
Oh, I'm
the
sorry,
fall guy.
excluding Anaheim, it was 6.
Everybody needs the fall guy.
Well, nobody.
Everyone needs the fall guy.
I mean, how often do you hear that? One team opening
No,
up
that's very rare.
6 arenas?
Very rare, and it goes to show how the NHL's expanding, trying to broaden it. Like, you don't have all the teams starting off on the same day at the same time. So smart on behalf of they're taking a page out of the NFL's book. But, you know, hey, I said it before on the show. I'll say it again. You know, the schedule maker hasn't been the Flyers' friend this year. But guess what, schedule maker? You're dealing with an indefatigable team here that just will persist tirelessly. And you're seeing that. You saw that against the Hurricanes when they were just, you know, after playing a highly competitive, tough game against the Penguins, they come out with a solid effort. You know, will that continue? I think it can. I could see them doing well against the Islanders in Brooklyn. But the tough game that I'm looking at is the undefeated Montreal Canadiens next Saturday night. That's going to be a really tough contest. Carey Price playing outstanding hockey. And really the Canadiens as a whole has shown that... You guys done yet?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
okay.
Keep going, man. Keep going. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Indefatigable? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Nice word drop.
Thank you, man.
I'm always impressed with your vocabulary, I swear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Word of the day calendar.
Yay.
Yeah.
No, it's not a calendar. It's a roll of toilet paper. But, no, what I was saying with the Montreal Canadiens, they've been showing that they're more than just Carey Price, you know, being undefeated this season. So that's going to be the tough game this week. I think that Saturday night contest against Montreal.
And they're playing
Yeah.
well, too. They're, you know, Shea Weber he's brought something to that team. And that team is playing very, very good hockey.
You know what he brought to that team? Leadership. That's what he brought to that damn team because clearly they didn't have any last year.
You're wrong. You know what he brought? It.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if by maybe the end of next season, Shea Weber's wearing that C and not Max Pacioretty.
I think he should already be wearing that C, to be completely honest with you. I mean, and yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about Max Pacioretty. He's a good player, but I think leadership-wise, who has more experience?
Max Pacioretty would not be happy if you stripped the C off of him and give it to a player that just got traded to the team.
Right.
I think so.
That's gonna destroy the locker room chemistry.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, really overall, though, I guess in a way he wears the C, but we really know who's the true captain there. It's Shea Weber.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Shea Weber personally, you know.
And it does not hurt any team to have at least 2 captains on that team. And I see you looking at me. Sorry.
You all right?
I'm good.
A lot of distractions here in the studio today.
Seriously.
A lot of distractions.
It's not me.
No, it's not you, Pope. We're not blaming you. We're not blaming
Shut
you.
up! It's not me! Okay, now that I blew all the listeners' eardrums out.
But you're right though. This game against Montreal is going to be a tough one for Philadelphia. But you know what, Philly? I think the Flyers might actually sneak a win out. And I say this: the Flyers, like you said, a perseverant team. They might want revenge for what happened because really, yeah, did they play perfect against Montreal? No, but they played tough against them. I think we might actually. I could see the Flyers sneaking out a victory in the Bell Center possibly. I think they could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it may be that one time, but I could actually see them pulling that one out.
They looked good against Carey Price in the preseason when he came back from playing the World Cup of Hockey. But I think Carey Price was just a little tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
It's the preseason.
Exactly. It doesn't really matter to hella beans. But, you're talking leading 36 goals.
I mean, I'm just saying because, that revenge factor, don't ever deny a team's intensity against somebody. We've always played well against Montreal. It's never been, Montreal plays well against us too, but, I really think we could sneak out a win on Saturday. I mean, it's a possibility.
It's possible. They played Montreal well in Montreal.
Yeah, I think they could do it. I think they honestly could do it. But the real game that's going to be interesting is the one that's going to be an interesting game, but also the game in Brooklyn is going to be interesting against the Islanders because that's a team that's constantly in fluctuation. They're never perfect. They're always either doing good or they're doing bad. They never have a solid, they're hot and cold. They always have been. I wonder, can the Flyers catch them on a bad night and possibly sneak a win out in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think they could. I mean, there already talks of trading Yaroslav Halak. I don't know if you guys heard that story yet.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I heard it. Yep.
Actually, I forgot to bring that up in Around the League. Thanks, Brian.
For
Appreciate it.
for those of you who don't know, Yaroslav Halak's agent decided to open his big mouth.
Of course he did.
To get his client put on the trade block because the Islanders want to carry 3 goalies.
Right.
So, if Halak doesn't get traded, which I don't think he's going to get traded, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Thomas Greiss is pushing up on him, though. Like we said in FDN, he's a pretty good hockey goalie to pick up.
He is.
Well, you say your point.
But I don't think he's starter material.
True.
Hold on. Quick second. I have an idea. Who's the starter in Edmonton? Devin Dubnyk, right?
No.
Cam Talbot.
Cam Talbot. That's right.
Devin
Devin Dubnyk
Dubnyk's
went to the
Minnesota.
Minnesota Wild. He was on the Oilers though for a short period of time.
Yep.
Very short.
I actually have an idea.
I'm scared.
What if Yarrow goes to Edmonton? Think about it.
What do they give in return? Cam Talbot? Straight up goalie for goalie trade?
I wouldn't do that. Cam Talbot's been freaking awesome this year. He's been part of the reason why they've been off to a hot start.
But you think about it, though. You can have Halak in your back pocket, and you can use that to your advantage. What if Cam Talbot all of a sudden falls off? It's a possibility. I'm not saying it will happen.
True. I mean, he's
but
a long-standing backup in this league. He's never really been the guy. So can he maintain it over a full 82 games,
We'll find out. But you keep Halak in the background for Edmonton, then you have a goalie tandem of Talbot and Halak. That may be perfect for Edmonton when you think about it. Think about
so
that.
What are you trading? What do you think?
That's a good question. Who would you trade?
I mean, you're not getting rid of Nugent Hopkins right now. He's playing
No,
stellar.
clearly you're not doing that. You're not
Eberle's
getting,
playing stellar.
Yeah.
He had a rough last week, I know, from fantasy, but
fantasy-wise,
overall, he's pretty good.
I mean,
no, he's had a great season overall fantasy-wise too. Just a bad last 7 days cost us the matchup.
yeah. Let's not talk about fantasy hockey right now.
Yeah.
My team,
I want to get you fired up again.
team is nowhere to be found.
Go ahead. Keep talking about it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, all this being hearsay, though, what the Flyers will do against the Islanders, I see this as being a letdown game. Like I said, they've been indefatigable. You can use that word again. But here's where the schedule really catches up with them in Brooklyn. They rest, they get off day Friday, and they come back Saturday. Will they be able to match Montreal's third period intensity, which they've been a pretty fierce team in the third period? That'll be the true question for that game.
Yeah, that is going to be a tough battle as well. And not only that, the goaltending for the Islanders is always really tough to get by. And not only that, the Islanders do have a pretty solid team when it comes down to it. Their defense is pretty solid. It can be beaten, though. It has been beaten in the past, but they're still a tough team. They're still a real tough team to go into Brooklyn and try and get a win against, even though they can't fill the building.
They're not a machine. They're a man. They can bleed.
But that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. It's last call time, folks. Once again, we are brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434. Visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com.
By the way, special teams won the poll.
Awesome. And you know what? You fans are absolutely 100% correct. When we return, we'll have that little depth chart we were talking about. And I might think more about that trade between Edmonton and New York to possibly get Jarl Halak, just because I think it'd be interesting to see. But that's all next week, folks. From all of us here, I'm Matt Sasuda, that's Rob Povia and Brian Daly. We'll see you guys next week on A2DRadio.com.